Good morning, cadets. I welcome you back for the computer science session for class 12th. And in the previous class, under Python revision tour, we have discussed about uh, string manipulation. Under that, how to traverse a string, forward indexing, backward indexing, then how to find the length of a string. Apart from that, how to count the number of characters in a given string, and of course the functions and methods of string manipulation. In the similar way, we'll discuss about the list manipulation, which is also one of the sequences available in Python. Let us see about the list, how we can define about the list, and how we can discuss about the list. The lists in Python are used to store collection of heterogeneous items. Even items may be homogeneous also. The meaning of heterogeneous means the elements stored in the list may be different, maybe of different data type basically. These are mutable, which means that you can change their content without changing their identity. You can recognize lists by their square brackets, left square bracket and right square bracket that hold the elements, of course separated by a comma. There are addresses assigned to every element of the list, which is called as index. The index value starts from 0 and goes on until the last element called the positive index. There is also a negative indexing which starts from -1, enabling us to access elements from last to first. Various types of lists you can see here. Empty list is represented by empty square brackets. Then if I call it as a list of integers 1, 2, 3 within the square brackets. If I call the list of both integers as well as float, then we have 1, 2.4, 3.5, 9. If I call a list of only characters, you can see here A, B, C, all are given under quotes. Then list of strings, the names of persons we can give it, and of course list of mixed value types, that is one may be alphabet or a character, another may be an integer, third may be a float, and fourth may be a string. These are the various types of the list which we can store the elements. Now creating a list. To create a list, put number of expressions in square brackets, that is elements we have to put in square brackets. Use square brackets to indicate the start and end of the list and separate the items by comma. Now the question comes, how lists are mutable? You can see here the example given list. There are 4 programming languages names are given under quotes: C, C++, Java, Python, etc. If I give ID of list, that is identity, some address is displayed with ending digits 168. If I want to see what is list of 0, or in place of list of 0, at present there is a C. You can see here list of 0, list of 1, list of 2, list of 3. In place of list of 0, if I give C hash, and now if I display the list, in place of C it is a C hash, means I have changed the contents of a list. And if I see the ID of the list, the same ID which was holding earlier is displayed here, which proves that the lists are mutable. The content of the lists can be changed. Now accessing lists. The individual elements of a list are accessed through their indices. To access the element of a list, we can either use forward indexing or backward. Like strings, if you give index out of the illegal indices while accessing individual elements, Python will raise an index error. How to traversing a list? The traversal of a sequence means accessing and processing each element of it right from beginning to end. The for loop is very handy to access the Python sequences. What is the syntax? For item in list : process the each item here. Example you can see here. Suppose a list where C has C++, Java and Python. If I write for I in list, print I, so it will print like this, right? C hash, C++, Java and Python. The root variable I in the loop will assign the list elements one at a time. Now this is with the in operator. With the range operators also I can do with the range function. Basically, in is an operator here and range is a function. For I in range, length of the list, print list of I. So with the help of an index, once again the same result will give. This is what we call it as a traversing a list. Now if I want to print the list along with their indexes, you can see here. Let us go through. A list is L, the moment L is called as a character POLITE, okay, and length of the list POLITE, it is stored here. Positive index varies from 0 to 5 and negative index from -1 to -6. Of course length is 6. In case of positive index, 0 at the 0th position L1, okay, then what it is showing here, can you see here? 0 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so here it should be printed POLITE. Okay, now here 0. Okay, L is nothing but the 6 now, length is 6. Okay, means 0 minus 6 is -6, 1 minus 6 is -5. Okay, similarly 5 minus 6 is -1. This is how the negative index is. Okay, with the same 0 1 2 3 4 5, if you subtract it by the length, you will get the negative index. Now suppose both positive index and negative index I want to print. What I will do here, for I in range length at index I, okay, I have taken in operator I at a time, I and I minus length, this is length I am subtracting here, and print the value of L of I. That's how it is printing 0 and -6. What is told? P. 1 and -5, what it is print? 0. 2 at -4, what it is print? L. This is how the output will be displayed. Now we can also compare the lists. We can compare the two lists using the standard comparison operators. We can say relational operators also. Now for example, there is a list L4 having 1 2 3 and the list L5 1 2 3 4. Now if I compare, L4 is greater than L5 is false. Why? Because number of elements in L4 is 3 and the number of elements in L5 are 4. Obviously L4 is greater than L5 is false. Similarly, L5 is greater than L4. If I compare, then it is true. Now L1 equal to 1 2 3, L2 equal to 1 2 3, L3 equal to 3 4 5. If I compare L1 with L2, it is true. If I compare L1 with L3, it is false. And if I compare L1 is greater than L2, it is also false. And if I compare L3 is greater than L1, it is true, because the first element of L3 is greater than the first element of L1. Now two important operators along with the lists are the plus, called as the plus operator, basically a concatenation, and the replicating operator, that is replication operator, star. Let us see how. Joining list, the resultant list will have firstly elements of first list followed by the elements of second list. The plus operator when used with the list requires that both the operands must be of list type. Remember, when you want to concatenate two operands, both must be of list type. In case of list, in case of string, both must be of string type. List plus list is valid, list plus integer is invalid, string plus list is also invalid. Now let us join here. See the operator. List 1 is 11 22 33 44, list 2 is 44 55 66. If I write list 1, concatenate with list 2, first all the elements of list 1 and then the remaining elements of list 2. List 3 equal to list 1 plus list 2. If you write, if you print the list L3, then the same elements are printed. Let's see, is the newly concatenated list which L1 and L2. The plus operator concatenates two lists and creates a new list. Replicating, like strings, we can use star operators to replicate a list. Star operator requires the operand to be of integer and the list. For example, list star integer is valid, list star list, string star list are both are invalid. Now you see the example here 11, 22, 33. List 1 star 3 means same 11, 22, 33 are printed 3 times. Okay. You can see here list star, this is error. We cannot replicate a list with another list. Now the important concept of slicing the list. List slices are the sub part of the list extracted out. You can use indexes of list elements to create a list slices. So star colon stop. Okay. This statement will create a list sequence, a C key, having elements of list L from index starts to stop -1. List slicing returns the result in the form of list. Remember, example you can see here. Your list is 0 to 4 here, means 5 elements are there. Index are -1, -2, -3, positive index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I give 1 to -1, 1 is 22, -1 is here, but as you know, the stop or upper limit will take 1 less. 1 less than -1 is 44. Therefore, it will display 22, 30, 44. Now, if you say here L1 of 0 is 30, if you assign in place of 11, if you print it now, the L1 will be, instead of 22, 33, 44, it will be 30, 33, 44. Further example of list 1 to 30. 30 is out of range. Since it is slicing, it will not give error. So it will give 22 to 55. -9 slash 2. Okay. From however it will print now, -9. So -1 to -2, -3, -4, -5. So it is given out of range, but since it is slicing, it will turn from the -5 to 2 elements up to 2, 0, 1, 2. 1 less than 2 is 22. So it will print 11 and 22. So L and 10 and 30, rather than giving an error, it will returns an empty list in case of slicing only. List also supports slice steps also. So in this syntax you can see the step. Of course, the default step value is 1. Now there is a true copy of a list. What is the meaning of a true copy of a list? We need to make a copy of a list, and we do it by assignment operator. What happens here, you see, if L is 11, 22, 33, L1 equal to L, if I print L1, 11, 22, 33, the meaning of which is whatever the L is pointing, the same L1 will also point. See, list L1 is also reflecting the changed value. Now, if we do changes in L, it reflects in L1. If you do changes in L1, it reflects in L, because both are pointing to the same memory locations. 11, 22, 33, first element meant L of 1 in place of 22, 55. 11, 55. If you print L also changes, L1 also changes. Further, if you want to both lists to be independent of each other, then we have to use a list function. Instead of L1 equal to L, you can write L1 equal to list. Now it will create a duplicate but independent one. The changes done in L will not reflect in L1. The changes done in L1 will not reflect in L1. Now list L1 is not reflecting the changed value. List L1 is independent of L. For that we have to use the function list. That is called as the true copy and a shadow copy we call. Okay. Now comes the nested list. A list within the another list is called as a nested list. L equal to 11, 22. So you can see here. If I ask you how many elements are in this list, 1, 2, and this list is 3, and this is 4. There are only 4 elements. L of 0 means 11, L of 1 means 22, L of 2 means this entire sublist will be displayed, and L of 3 means 33. Hope you understood about the nested list. Suppose I want to print the 10. How I should print? L of 2 and one more square bracket here, 0 means main second element, third element, of course. 2 means 0, 1, 2. The third element, in that the 0 means first element. So L2 of 0, if I write L of 2 of 0, if I write, it will print the value of 10. That we already discussed in the nested list last year. Now similarly, how we had methods or functions with the list, with the strings, similarly we have these many functions in the list. Of course, len, list, index, append, extend, insert, pop, remove, clear, del, count, reverse, sort, the sorted, minimum, maximum and sum. Some of the functions what we have discussed are common with the string, and we will see other. Len is very easy. If you give the length of list, how many elements are present, it will give. Very simple one. Next, as far as the adding the elements to the list, there are three functions. One is append, another is extend, and third is the insert. We need to find out what are the differences between these three functions, but all the three are using for adding the elements to a list. In case of append, it adds the element passed to it as a single element. For example, if I write here append 4, 5, 6, if I print here, then 1, 2, 3, and since this list will be added as a single element. Remember, append is used to add the elements in a single value. Example you can see here. If I append 44, it will print like this. If I append 55, okay, then your list is 55. If I add 10, 20, that is another element 10, 20. The general syntax is L dot append, and adds an item to the end of the list, does not return any value, modifies the original list. L dot append into bracket element. What about extend now? It function add the elements one by one into the list. For example, if I give extend 4, 5, it will add one by any element. Even you given the list of element, it will add as a different elements. You can see here 11, 22, 33, I have added 10, 20, so 10, 20 is added. The syntax is L dot extend and element. What is the difference between extend and append now? In case of append, function adds one element to the end of the list. Extend can add multiple elements from a list applied to its argument at the end. After append, length of the list will be increased by one element. After extend, the length of the list will be increased by the length of the inserted list. Now there is an insert function. What is this? The insert function adds the element passed to the index value and increase the size of the list too. Add the element passed to the index. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I add 1 comma Sunny, the meaning of which is 0, 1. In place of 2, you have to display. So you need to give what is the syntax now? The name of the list dot insert into that you have to give the index and the value to be inserted. Example you can see 20, 11, 22 to 18. Okay, L equal to 11, 22, 33. Insert 2 comma 80. What is the meaning? 0, 1, 2. In place of 22, 0, 1, 2. Isn't it? 80 minus 10 comma 20 means the first value will be added as 20. 15 comma 40 means last value will be added as 40. This method is used to insert an element at any position in the given list. The syntax will be L dot insert index comma element. Similarly, deleting elements are there. Del keyword, pop, remove and clear. Del element use the del keyword which is built in into Python, but this does not return anything back to us. Whereas pop, if you want the element back, you use the pop function which takes the index value. Remove, to remove an element by its value, use the remove function. Clear, to remove all the elements from the list. To make an empty list, we use the clear function. Example of del you can see here. Okay, del of 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 40 will be okay removed here after deleting. So you have to give the index position where the value is to be deleted. Okay, the same thing is explained here. Similarly, pop, you can see here, whatever pop will pop, you can hold it because it returns. 1 means 0, 1. Sunny will be stored in A. So yes, Sunny is the list. Okay, the popped element is Sunny. The syntax is the name of the list dot pop into position. Once again, index you have to give. Same thing explained here. Remove. Once again, what it will do, dot remove Sunny means the value if you give, that will be removed. In remove, you have to element with a value. Same thing is explained here. Now list, clear, to remove all the elements from the list to make an empty list, clear function. What is the syntax? List dot clear, so it will display an empty list. The same thing is explained here. Now in my next class I will explain you about the copying a list and further list functions. Okay, I would like to stop at this point of time, and I would like to continue in my next class. Okay, till then let us stop here. Bye.